all love. I am one with it all.
Thank you for this day,
One
Spirit.
with
Thank
the
you for
all
this
of
day.
it all.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
I am one with it all. One with the all of it all.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you
All
for this day.
love,
Thank you for this
all
day,
compassion,
Spirit. Thank you for this day.
all
This
peace,
healing, this healing,
all joy.
this healing, this healing.
I am one with it all. One with the all of it all. I am one with it all. One with the all of it all. All that is good, all that is beautiful, all that is pure, all that is bountiful. I am one with it all. One with the all of it all. I am one with it all. One with the all of it all. All things, all people, all life, all love. I am one with it all. One with the all of it all. I am one with it all. One with the all of it all. All that is good, all that is beautiful, all that is pure, all that is bountiful. I am one with it all. One with the all of it all. I am one with it all. One with the all of it all. The all of it all is all that there is. The all of it all is all that there is. The all of it all is all that there is. The all of it all is all that there is. I am one with it all. One with the all of it all. I am one with it all. One with the all of it all. I am one with it all. One with the all of it all. I am one with it all. One with the all of it all.
Hey, Lena. My name is Tina Stewart, and I am a member of the Board of Trustees here at the Center for Spiritual Living, West Hawaii. And my pronouns are loved and beloved. In the spirit of aloha, I welcome you to our Sunday celebration. As we open our service, we acknowledge that in West Hawaii, we honor the rich and ancient heritage of Kanaka Maoli, the native people of Hawaii. We honor all communities, their elders, both past and present, as well as future generations. At CSL West Hawaii, we discover the truth of who we are through the center's vision of contributing to an emerging world by supporting humanity's awareness to its spiritual connection. We support this vision through our mission, which is to be a joyfully accepting, serving, and compassionate ohana, focused on holistic and mindful community growth through spiritual practices and principles. The spiritual truth is that we all belong to each other, and this calls for us to be inclusive, to celebrate and embrace our unique identities, ability, status, age, ethnicity, gender identity, national origin, physical characteristics, race, religion, and sexual orientation. I invite you now to set an intention for this week. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to sink into that feeling of that intention right now as you open to receive Spirit's guidance throughout our time together. As our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, taught, in principle, the great religions of the world do not differ as much as they appear to. This is why we take time each week to recognize and honor a variety of religions as sacred paths to God. I now invite Eddie to lead us in our lighting the flames of faith.
Thank you, Tina. We perform this ceremony each Sunday to promote the universal consciousness of light, which acknowledges that all people, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. And fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all spiritual thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for the native traditions, including, of course, the Hawaiian culture, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality, and the spirit in all of creation. We light a candle for Confucianism, honoring the path of deliberate tradition. We light a candle for Shintoism, honoring the path of optimism and inherent goodness of humanity. We light a candle for Akan, honoring the path of the divine, ancestors, and nature. We light a candle for science of mind, honoring the path of adherence to the universal spiritual law and transformation through the commitment of our spiritual practices. We light all these candles for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through practice of universal spiritual principles. We also light these candles as healing candles, so you may, if you choose, put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love. We invite you to hold sacred any and all faiths in all their multiplicity by knowing love as the highest power that guides them all. Namaste, and so it is.
And so it is. Mahalo nui loa, Eddie, for leading us in the lighting the flames of faith. We realize that today's trends offer up many options of spiritual soul food. We are grateful that you drop in to visit us today. We welcome you, and if you are with us for the first time, please consider joining at the end of the service for our after chat. It's a time to connect and explore today's message a little further. And we'd love it if you would put your email address in our chat so that we can better welcome you, along with any other comments and insight that you would like to share as our service unfolds. So now, let us consciously engage in spiritual practice together. We invite you to settle in, center yourself in this moment, and find that sacred place within, where spirit is all there is. Our centering time today will be led by Eddie Dudley Cash, but first we begin with an affirmative prayer. Please join me in consciousness, knowing that there is only one life, one mind, one all-creative force, and infinite intelligence, known as God, Spirit, Love, Keakua, the Divine. This one mind is the originating cause of all life seen and unseen, known and unknown. It is a substance from which I am the energy that moves me, sustains me, and nurtures me into greater expansion of expression, so it may know through experience the fullness of itself. I speak my word for the part of me in the universe known as the multiple expressions within humanity. As I contemplate my place within this universe, I remember that God is ultimately energy in motion, infusing itself into its creation, making all sacred with its one nature. I embrace that the cosmic spiritual principles which govern the unseen and infinite intelligence are operating in my life now, as they are through all circumstance, and therefore I confidently affirm that I am a spiritually intelligent leader, trusting my own authority and supporting others to do the same. I intend and emit a sense of calmness and respect, and others feel safe and acknowledged in my presence. I am both a facilitator of expansion, a bridge builder, a grounding force, encouraging others to dig deep and release the mental and emotional impingements needed to feel confident as free thinkers and high-level decision makers. I am a powerful, compassionate, and inclusive, and allow my intentions for the highest good of the many guide my decisions and actions. With deep appreciation for the allness of God as the one life inspired by love and the law of its being that continues to reveal this truth, I release anything obstructing me from cultivating this loving acceptance and connection for the presence of Keakua, as me and as all, here and now, and so it is.
So as you find a place to be comfortable where you are, I'm taking poetic license and changing the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi. So as you hear these words, think about the reality of them in your life, your presence, your persona, your energy. God, my partner in infinite presence, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is discord, union. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy. Grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. And it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Today, I affirm the all good. Today, I affirm that all is well. And so it is.
Thank you, Eddie, for that beautiful time of spiritual practice. Would you like to have more of that sacred spiritual connection? Our minister is here to support you in learning to live from this place. You can contact her at prayer.cslwh@gmail.com. Oh, today is Live Music Sunday, and joining us is, take it away, Gail.
It is with great pleasure and my honor to introduce Jessie Powers, who is dynamic and loving, and her music is just so uplifting. So take it away, Jessie.
Oh, thank you, Gail. That's very sweet of you. I'm happy to be with you all this morning. Although admittedly it's afternoon here. So let's take the sweetness of that spaciousness that we tend to cultivate when we're in spiritual practice. Let's go a little deeper. They're in the center of my soul. I can feel you all around me. Something holy and untold. But I hear it perfectly. Somehow in the deepness of now, I can see I was made in the image. I was made in the image of love. I was made in the image. I was made in the image of love. Here and now, I can see I was made beautifully. I was made in the image. I was made in the image of love. Beyond books and words and songs, at the gate of all my longing, leaving certainty behind. I take one step and you come running. I was made in the image of love. I was made in the image. I was made in the image of love. Here and now, I can see I was made beautifully. We were made in the image. We were made in the image of love. Love, love, flow like water. Love, love, move in me. Love, love, flow like water. Love, love, move in me. Oh, love, love, flow like water. Love, love, move in me. Oh, love, love, flow like water. Love, love, move in me. We were made in the image. We were made in the image of love. We were made in the image. We were made in the image of love. Here and now, I can see we were made perfectly. We were made in the image. We were made in the image of love.
Well, Gail and I loved you, Jesse, when we saw you in Asilomar. And on behalf of our congregation, I thank you so much for that music. And now, continuing our September theme of being the beloved community, I'm so delighted to introduce today's speaker, Reverend Dr. Nadene Rogers, with her talk entitled, Am I a Spiritually Intelligent Leader? Please help me welcome in Reverend Nadene.
Aloha, Center for Spiritual Living West Hawaii, and to all those tuning in from far and wide. It is ever so good to be with you again this Sunday afternoon here on the West Coast. So here at CSL West Hawaii, we learn how to apply spiritual principles and practices in our everyday lives based on the teachings of Dr. Ernest Holmes. Now, a lot of you are familiar with his teachings, but some of you may not be. So I always like to share that he summarizes his teachings, called The Science of Mind and Spirit, as a correlation of laws of science, opinions of philosophy, and revelations of world religions applied to the human needs and aspirations of people. He did say man, but you know, we have to catch ourselves, don't we? It's all about honoring. And as we study and practice this teaching, we learn to be, yes, a student of humility and awe, the vast power for good within us and within the world. And we come to understand, as we walk each other home, that we teach by how we live, and that how we live becomes our prayer. So in continuing our monthly theme of being the beloved community, to me, we have the opportunity to ask, am I a spiritually intelligent leader in my life? And I always follow that by thinking about honoring myself as a starting place so that I can honor another. And as soon as I think that thought, I think, why do I often hold those two things as separate? So my question is, can we be guided by spiritual intelligence and use our intellect and its gathered experience in creating a trusting, transparent, and inclusive, and I'll even say equitable, community or spiritual community or even work environment. Because the topic for today really does speak to all kinds of intentional communities or workplaces. I am a spiritually intelligent leader is really an exploration designed for those who are in leadership and those wanting to step up into leadership in their communities who are committed to actually making a difference by expanding their self-interest through conscious intent to include the world beyond. Spiritually intelligent leadership is critical, especially at this time, as it brings the necessity of operating in a larger field of unknown possibilities within our grasp. This way, our options are not limited by that application of proven strategies. And you know what I mean by that, right? High-level decisions are made from a win-win multi-intelligence perspective and result in the application of new skills and behaviors that not only can advantage the thinker, but can benefit those in one's circle of influence, affecting new results, or in the business world, a new bottom line. You know, we can all attest to the fact that perception is everything. And how others assess us as leaders will either add to or diminish our leadership ability. Trusting our spiritual intelligence to lead cultivates our authenticity as leaders, which doesn't motivate so much as it inspires with the power of presence, connecting souls, rather than the presence of power manipulating personalities. Using the power of presence to connect souls, rather than using the presence of power to manipulate those around us. Now, given that our thoughts create our emotional and physical reality, I remember Eckhart Tolle saying, so what creates our thoughts? Given that our thoughts create our emotional and physical reality, he said, so what creates our thoughts or our thought process? And the science of metaphysics teaches us that we're all interconnected and interdependent with respect to a universal intelligence, an original causal energy back of all we know, experience, and can identify. And when we think, we are thinking with this spiritual intelligence. We're thinking with this spiritual intelligence because there's only one mind. For our DNA originates from this one infinite creative source. And we all have the desire, I think, to bring our authentic selves more fully into the business of leading in spiritual and business communities, let alone, just wanting to have a richer, truer experience of our own expression, of the diversity of our expression, of our truth. As I mentioned earlier, when we are guided by spiritual intelligence, we create trusting and transparent and inclusive communities. And this intentional work takes courage, as it will unfold the breakdown within its component parts and break open those participating who hold the vision of a world that works for everyone. It begins, I think, by honoring ourselves and each other in the face of diverse opinions, the shedding of layers of protection through ego identity, and the inner and collective chaos of facing the mystery in recalibration. You may be feeling that now within yourselves. I know somebody said we just came through like a double Mercury retrograde. I don't know that I pay much attention to it, but sometimes I look for simple reasons and explanations for extraordinary chaos in my life. And so why not use that one? That's as good as anything else. So my question is, does honoring ourselves, again, as I said in the beginning, and honoring another need to be two separate things? I think this is both the root and the overarching question to be considered in creating what Dr. Jim Lockhart spoke about last week, a beloved community, a beloved community. As spiritually intelligent leaders, this is an example of some of the questions, in addition to the one I just asked, that I think we can ask ourselves in order to live in a close and unceasing relationship with the creative source within us. You know, we are not frail, untethered particles that tend to float around in this universe only on purpose when we have a good idea or we've done a good deed. We are so much more than that. I always like to say, in quoting Dr. David Walker, a former president of ours, that we are enough. We are enough because we exist, just because we exist. And as Jesse's saying, you know, the image of God, we are enough. So the key, I think, when, or one of the keys, I think when we feel discounted, you know, or judged by another in community is to, or in our leadership, exacting our leadership, is to call upon this inner wisdom, which is rooted in infinite possibility rather than be distracted by our own personal doubts and our subsequent projections and assumptions drawn from past experience. Is it not that? You know, I like the intellect. The intellect serves a great purpose. It helps us decide, decipher, right? Deduce and execute. We want to keep that intellect sharp and expanding and knowledgeable. But do we want to be guided by it? I don't think so. I don't think so. The spiritual intelligence allows us the breadth and depth of being vulnerable through love, being vulnerable through kindness, working on the level of our essence and our soul rather than our ego. And I think another reason why we can feel we are sometimes standing on shaky ground when we're moving into this authentic expression, which often happens in tandem with demonstrating the courage required to live on our growing edge, is because we have yet to establish our personal boundaries. Do you have personal boundaries? Are they set up to let in what feeds you rather than keep out what doesn't? Are they the same things? I don't know. You'll have to answer that for yourself. When we draw from our inner wisdom, we understand that boundaries, when created in alignment with values that serve our highest good, are not in contrast to our capacity to be inclusive and accepting of others and their ideas or their opinions. As spiritually intelligent leaders, we can demonstrate standing strong as a sovereign being in our own truth and be unshaken by the seeming paradoxes outpictured in our personal and professional lives. So here are a few more questions to consider. I hope you've got your journals today. I realize that I'm asking a lot of questions. Must be one of those days. These are questions in being honorable to yourself and others. Are you connected to your sense of purpose, bringing your unique abilities and strength more fully into your worldly contributions? Do you know your worth away from work? Do you know that you are worthy apart from what you contribute into life? Are you aware and centered in your sense of security in life and know where to go when times get tough? Honoring ourselves and honoring another need not be two separate things. In this intelligent spiritual universe, everything exists to reveal the true and divine nature of all of life as one thing, not divided against itself, but the perfect evolution of an infinite intelligence, unified, whole, and complete within itself. As we are each a unique part of this intelligent system, there is much potential within us yet to be revealed. No? And as we begin this deeper discussion, being guided by spiritual intelligence to leading authentically from the power of presence, not position, we will become increasingly convinced that what we formerly may have thought of as an inappropriate way to lead is the only way to lead in time where engagement, loyalty, honesty, productivity, creative collaboration, original thinking, financial sustainability, all of which are people generated and are becoming a rare commodity in the area or era of technological advances and global socio-economic inequities. You know, we have all the information we need right now to heed the cry of the planet, the animal and human kingdoms, and unite in support of a healthy quality of livingness, not just for ourselves, but for everyone. And we each have the power to change consciousness within our own mind and affect unlimited experiences and results in accordance to our level, of course, of belief and expectancy. So if we are not looking within ourselves to adjust our values to align with the highest needs for the greatest good, which begins with ourselves in mind, then we will reinforce a divisive collective consciousness that will perpetuate the appearance of lack, both in our envisioned and intention communities and on our planet. I know it often seems like a catch-22, right? As we become conscious that infinite creative intelligence works in, through, and as us, we begin to trust ourselves and entrust ourselves with the resources given us. It is from here we are better prepared to let our guard down into authenticity, for we know that being ourselves doesn't cost us anything, that in being true to oneself, nothing needs to be sacrificed, only an old, comfortable sweater needs to be thrown out. I think being a spiritually intelligent leader, as such, we become aware of our responsibility to lead consciously, as everything begins in consciousness, including the quality of our lives and the quality, of course, of others' lives, and the quality of this planet ad infinitum. Every one of us is an emergent, spiritually intelligent leader, not with regard to position, again, but with the desire and the ability to presence ourselves in a way that will align with what is of deep value to us in support of our unique purpose on earth. Eventually, I think it all comes down to what does our soul want. Better to check in now and adapt thinking and acting in that certain way that will demonstrate it, than put it in the hands of time as if the power to create existed anywhere else than where we are right now. Again, I say it's about presence, not position. And our centers for spiritual living is up to opening up the floodgates, trusting that we have within us what we need to both cultivate and ride the tides of transformation as a powerful contributor to a world that works for everyone. The short version of that is we must keep relevant. We must keep relevant. There's a lot of discussion around a certain book, actually, at the time, on the ministerial and practitioner threads, in consideration on our path of what we need to do and be and say in order to become more relevant. Some of you may have heard Sean Ginwright's book called The Four Pivots. And here he states that the four primary leadership fails consist of lack of confidence, lack of vision, lack of humility, and not listening and changing. And his work addresses both the individual choices in leadership and the outcomes needed to create a world that works for everyone. Through one premise, personal healing. The premise is personal healing. He says, I've thought a lot about healing as a process focused on fixing harms and or repairing wounds inflicted by oppression and structural inequity. He says, but I've come to realize that as a society, we don't really do a good job at preparing, teaching, or training people how to be vulnerable, cultivate empathy, practice self-reflection, all the stuff that makes us human. Healing involves more than repairing the deep wounds of racism, healing the scars of sexism, or easing the pains of poverty. Healing, he says, is the capacity to restore our humanity and care for ourselves and others, even in the midst of our fear. Healing is the only pathway to real justice because it requires that we take an honest look at what harmed us and pushes us to restore our humanity and finally to move us confidently into a possible future. He says most of our work is focused on eliminating those things that cause us harm. And addressing these issues is important, but reductions in these things are not victories in and of themselves. I like this part. He said, because eliminating things that harm us is not the same as creating things that heal us. Hear that. Eliminating things that harm us is not the same as creating things that heal us. Just like the absence of disease doesn't constitute health, nor does the absence of violence constitute peace. Simply ending these problems does little to cultivate the world we really want. So transforming our societies is all and only about, first, transforming ourselves through healing or revealing, as Dr. Holmes would say, our wholeness. Trust, vision, wholeness, humane relationships, and hope are the real lifeline of building intentional, beloved communities. And this means working on self-transformation and the cultivation of a vision of possibility, which we can explore as we cultivate spiritually intelligent leadership. And for some of you that may be interested, I'll just cap this part of my message off with his four pivots. The first one is awareness, from lens to mirror. The second one is connection, from transactional to transformative relationships. The third is vision, from problem fixing to possibility creating. And the last is presence. And he says, from hustle to flow. I love that one. So as spiritually intelligent leaders, we need to honor diversity, the diversity that we find that lives within ourselves, that shows up in a spontaneous or impulsive way when it is the most convenient for us. I'm speaking of our shadow. I'm speaking of the times where we say things that are out of our mouth before we can catch them and bring them back in, that seem to create a sense of self-judgment or criticism or shame in us. We need to honor all the diverse expressions of who we are, and we need to honor them and embrace them, knowing that this God, this beautiful life, this creative intelligence, this force is everywhere present, always moving without obstruction in the fullness of itself, its life, its qualities of livingness, joy and peace and power and love and truth, no matter what we're doing, right? So we can afford to step into that remembrance of our connection with oneness, the awareness and the connection of oneness, and then trust it and its expression happening within us to help balance whatever might be going on in our own lives. So we must find a way to enter into what can be a challenging conversation with ourselves and others, right? To create this beloved community, because it brings to us this amazing heart-to-heart connective experience that we all treasure so deeply. And I'll go a step further, that we all need so deeply. So let's begin by just exploring how we can welcome in the new, the different, and the unknown into our moment-to-moment experience. I'm going to close with the Center for Spiritual Living's global vision. And I'm going to ask you to, if you would, if you can, just, close your eyes, let all the words that I've said go, let them all just, just float away. And maybe open to feel, not think about, but feel the vision of the words that I share with you now. And I'm going to make this personal. I'm going to make it in first person. So take it for yourself, if you will. I see all life as an expression of an infinite intelligence. I see a peaceful world that works for everyone. I see humanity awakening to its spiritual and human magnificence. I see a world in which people live in alignment with spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with their spiritual intelligence and each other and the creative power of thought. I envision a world in which individuality and collectivity are called into a higher state of consciousness and being. I see a world without boundaries, where each and every person has enough food, a home, and a sense of belonging, a world of peace and harmony, enfranchisement and justice. I see a world in which there is generous and continuous sharing of all resources. A world in which forgiveness, whether for errors, injustices, or debts, is the norm. A world which has renewed its emphasis on beauty and nature and love through the resurgence of creativity and art and aesthetics. I see a world in which fellowship with all life prospers and connects through the guidance of spiritual wisdom and experience. A world in which we live and grow as one global family that respects and honors the interconnectedness of all life. Can you feel that as a global vision? Can you see that as you allow and surrender yourself into the guidance of the spiritual intelligence that created you, that you think with, that thinks as you, that is with you and available at all times to access and create from, that this is possible? Can you see that? Can you feel that? Carpe diem means seize God. And as we hold on to this God of our understanding and allow the spiritual intelligence to guide us, we can and we will hold truth and beauty and goodness. Just remember, your life counts now. And you have the freedom to choose now how you speak your word, how you spend your life, how you lead with your thoughts and your words and your actions. If it is our individual intention to commune, to experience the presence of the holy, then it must be our collective intention as well So I leave you with this, and I know I've run over, but it's such an important conversation. What are the qualities you could entertain in being a spiritually intelligent leader in your own life right now, which would serve your spiritual growth and your peace of mind? How about faith in God or the universal creative process? How about reaching beyond, right? Standing on the creative edge. How about mindfulness or making your joyful noise or speaking your truth or embracing your wholeness? How about embracing your feelings? Being grateful for the preciousness of each new day. And my personal favorite, taking yourself lightly. Perhaps you can add to these ideas. You know, great leadership cannot be reduced to techniques and the authority in one's position, but rather the continuing journey to authentic presence. And so I leave you with this, my friends. Blessings on this day. Mahalo.
Gosh, I didn't know which question to answer first and how I was going to write all those things down so I could contemplate them later. So, what are the qualities that would enable us to be a great spiritual, intelligent leader? That's something to think about all this week. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Reverend Nadene, for your inspiring message. And I already gave you the takeaway on mine. Once again, Jesse, take it away.
Can you hear that? Perfect, okay. Well, let's cultivate some skills in letting go to that infinite wisdom within us. This is not the song I was planning on singing, but the Reverend Doctor has inspired me. So thank you for that beautiful talk. Sometimes it feels like my heart is stuck in a revolving door. It can get me down so much, I don't even want to mess with it anymore. Oh, that too familiar feeling, oh, I know it well, but I don't let it get too far. No, I'm too good at staying cool now. Yes, I am learning the art, and I'm getting good at letting go. Yeah, I'm getting good at giving it over, 'cause I know it ain't in my hands. Oh, I'm getting good at letting go. Yeah, getting good at giving it over, 'cause I know, though I do not understand, my soul's always got something better planned. When the shadow comes creeping in like a thief from my past, I turn on the light by remembering only my soul knows my path. And I'm getting good at letting go, yeah, getting good at giving it over, 'cause I know it ain't in my hands. So I'm getting good at letting go, yeah, getting good at giving it over, 'cause I know, though I do not understand, my soul's always got something better planned. And I am unburdened, yes, I am free when I believe. Hey, if I just keep trusting, if I keep the faith, I know I'll see. When I let go, and I know when I let go, and I know that my soul's always God. Yes, my soul's always God. Oh, my soul's always got something better planned. you know that I'm a spiritually intelligent leader. And I'm off the charts of the spiritually intelligent meter. Oh, something better is coming along.
Thank you, Jesse, Amy, Amy. I knew you could do it.
Good at letting go, good at giving it over. Great, great, great. You can find more of Jesse's music at jessepowersmusic.com. And please join us next Sunday as we welcome Idalia Romero speaking on life's double thread. And now it's time for our conscious giving, an opportunity to participate in the law of circulation. We know that we have to receive as well as give. So we invite you to let your divine inner wisdom choose the blessings of joy that calls to you, whether it's one on the screen or something from your higher self. Keep it with you all week long and remember how much you are loved. Wonderful. And now we can complete the law of circulation by giving back. I invite you to invoke the feeling of gratitude through thoughts of infinite possibility right where you are, allowing that to fill you and the space around you. Thank you for all the ways you support the center and the community, whether it be in the form of a donation, your time, or by sharing your positive light out into the world. And now, let us speak our prosperity affirmation together. This gift I give is God in action. I give it in love. I give it in joy. I give it in gratitude. I give it knowing that it is given again, and so I graciously give, and so it is. We offer easy ways for you to donate your offering. You can make a donation through our website, cslwh.org, or by sending a check to the Center for Spiritual Living, West Hawaii, Box 814, Kamuela, Hawaii, 96743. We gratefully receive and accept your gifts and tithes. Your support allows us to connect with each other to create a center where we can thrive and learn to contribute to a world that works for everyone. And last but not least, here are a variety of ways to connect and engage in community. Oh, I'm so excited about this. Sharing the Bounty Fall fundraiser is a silent online auction, which will be posted for bidding to begin on October 8th. So circle your calendars. Thank you for all who have donated items. Stay tuned for a sneak preview of some of the generous donations over the upcoming days. Part of the proceeds from this auction will be paid forward to the Waimea Food Pantry, St. James Parish, and the United Way Maui Fund. If you can't help yourself, we still have room for more donations. Sunset Ohana Meetup is on Sunday, September 24th from 4:30 to 6 o'clock at Spencer Beach Park. Please bring some poo-poos and refreshments to share. This Ohana setup will be hosted by Kim Schneider. Self-mastery, the emergence of the true self, October 19th to November 30th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Hawaiian Standard Time. This is a Science of Mind accredited course facilitated by Dr. Reverend Nadene Rogers and focuses on healing, revealing the perceived separation between personality, and spirit to gain mastery in the art of conscious living. The investment is $150. At long last, we are beginning our in-person Sunday celebration on October 8th at Waikoloa Village. And of course, our first guest speaker will be our interim senior minister, Reverend Dr. Nadene Rogers. Come for the music, stay for the message, and enjoy connection over poo-poos and refreshments. Tell your family and friends. Bring your neighbors. Let's make this a true celebration of all that has gone before, is new today, and is awaiting us together. In-person celebrations will run the second Sunday of the month for now. We will reassess in the new year. Links to all these events and to register can be found at our website calendar at www.cslwh.org, or feel free to email us at cslwh.board@gmail.com. Don't forget to stay for our Sunday after morning service after chat, and it will be on the same link. So on behalf of our entire community, thank you for being part of our spiritual family today, and we look forward to seeing you again. Please stay for our Zoom room after chart. And after our closing message from Reverend Nadene. It's now my pleasure to invite Reverend Nadene to close our service with an affirmative prayer.
Oh, so beloveds, yes, we are all spiritually intelligent. We are all spiritually intelligent. What a gift that has been given us. And so let's just do what we do, open to it, play with it, pray with it, share it, connect with it, connect through it, give with it, receive with it, and let it be that which is the presence in our lives, that which guides us, nourishes us, and gives us those stepping stones that we may one by one take those steps toward the fulfillment of the authentic life, the freedom that we all seek of true expression and ever deepening and enriching experience. This is our birthright. Let us claim it. Let us be it. Let us support others in being it as well. And so this is our offering. This is our opportunity. And this is the time for us to practice together in spiritual community. So blessings on this week. This life is a blessing, and so are you. And so it is. Mahalo.
Can we now do our peace song?
Peace on earth and let it begin with me.
Thank you, Reverend Nadine, and thank you, Jesse, for singing and sharing your music with us today. And we thank you again for coming, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Please stay on for the after chat with Reverend Nadine.